I know, isn't it great?
Oh, yeah.
My fingers are sore from tying up Dollar General bags yesterday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Now you know
Well, I
how
bet
it
they are.
feels, Jerry.
I'm sorry, what, Terry?
I said, now you know how it feels. I usually get stuck with that job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen
Your
Sharon there
feet
for a while.
Background, we won't be able to see your kitty cats.
Oh, yeah, I know. Here, I can get rid of it.
What, the cats?
Yeah, she says.
Yeah, we usually see them running up and down the stairs.
Right, right.
I think they're upstairs trying to unmake the beds.
I like the one of them in the sink.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He goes in there all the time. It's amazing.
Yeah, he likes to sleep there.
There you go. I just see him running around somewhere.
We went, when we were in Key West, we went to Ernest Hemingway's house. And he has these, they have these 6-toed cats.
Oh, yeah.
They are all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
Are those the Maine Coon?
The Maine Coon cats. Like the double paws.
Well, they got 6 toes. I don't know about double paws, but.
Yeah, they might be a breed of the Maine Coons because they have the huge paws and more toes.
Yeah, these, evidently he had one cat come around, a female cat that had 6 toes. And she was kind of the stock of, they've still got ancestors of that one cat.
Huh.
Of course, he's been dead since, I don't know, a long time. Early 60s, I think.
It's a closed ecosystem in Key West.
Yeah.
Limited gene pool.
Yeah. More ways than one.
I don't think Jerry and I were thinking about that.
Well, everybody kind of warned me that I might see some things that I would normally not see in Crawfordsville, but
yeah.
we didn't see anything out of the ordinary other than there was a sign on one bar that said clothing is optional.
Oh, cool.
That's the only thing kind of out of the ordinary that I saw.
So did you visit that one?
No,
Oh.
no. It was during the day.
We were down there in the early 73, 74, something like that, and was staying in a hotel that had a little bar attached to it. And there was a local group that was playing in the bar Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And beer was like 50 cents a glass. And there weren't many people around, but it was an outfit called the Coral Reefer Band. And it was Jimmy Buffett before he hit the big time, about 6 months before his first album came out.
Wow.
And this was the local house band in this bar. It was pretty interesting to see him, when he was so young, so much younger. Gosh, this is close to 50 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I guess he's got a recording studio down there. We didn't see it, but we just mostly walked around. Had kind of a brunch there. And
did you see the sign that told you how close Cuba was?
Yeah, we got our picture taken. If I knew how to put it up, I would, but I don't know how to put it up.
Chuck, we can't see you, so
well, I'm having problems here trying to figure out how to do this.
Okay.
Hi, Rusty.
Yeah, we don't have as many people on here as we did last week.
Yeah, I watched that down in Florida. That was really a good program. I really was sorry I couldn't. We were out that day, and I watched it later in the day.
Good.
I can't remember. Let's see what we were doing that day. Oh, that was the day we met. Well, we were in Marathon that day.
Oh, I thought that was the day you went to the clothing optional bar.
No, that was the next day.
Hey, finally got it on.
Sure he is.
See ya.
Are you laying down there, Chuck?
No, I'm kind of slouching.
Oh,
And we don't see Toshi either.
she's hiding.
Yeah, there she is. Hi, Toshi.
Doji.
Yeah, we got a few minutes yet. I talked to Caleb by email this morning, and we sent out about 200 emails to various businesses or that were in the area looking for money. So we sent that out yesterday, and we'll see what happens, see what we can get.
Hey, Gary, was that donation request specific to any event coming up, or is it just a general
It's
request?
for the it's for Pancake Week.
Did you send one to Kids Count Therapy?
Yes, I did. And I think it may have gone to Frank.
Good. He would be the one who needs to get it.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I can check, but I think I mailed it to Frank or emailed it to Frank.
Good. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Jerry Dreyer,
Yes.
how can you watch any of the Mars landing? Where will it be on?
There'll be several places. If you have access to the NASA channel on cable TV or satellite, there's an outfit called space.com that'll be online. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on NASA's channel, nasa.gov. I think most of the broadcasts are going to start about 2 or 2:15 our time. And the entry, descent, and landing phase is supposed to begin about 10 minutes till 4 and land about 3:55 our time.
Is that today?
Yes. So it'll be, and then it takes like 7 minutes for the signal from the craft on the ground to get back to the Earth. So it will have landed 7 minutes ago. They won't know for 7 minutes if it was successful or not.
Wow.
These guys, this thing was launched back in July, I think. It's traveled like 300 million miles. And they're trying to land it in a spot on Mars that's about 4 by 4 miles.
Amazing.
That's what you call a precision landing.
Yeah.
For a long approach.
Especially from that distance. My goodness.
Did you see the simulation that they showed on?
Yes.
That was really great.
Yeah, I've seen several of them. And I'm sure they'll show that many times again this afternoon. The one thing that'll be interesting is that there are actually cameras and microphones on board this craft that they're going to basically live stream. My understanding is they're going to live stream it back from the lander as it's going through the atmosphere and riding the parachute down, and then the sky crane that actually gets it to the surface.
Wow.
Should be pretty cool.
Now that one, there's one part that is tethered to the other one, and it's release it, I guess. And what happens to that other part, the first part?
Once the rover lands on the surface, then the tethers separate, and the sky crane flies away and falls to the ground, a mile away or something like that, because they don't want it to be too close to where it blows dust up on the lenses of the cameras on the rover.
I told Terry this morning, I says, it'd really be amazing if that thing lands and you got the microphones and the cameras, and all of a sudden you see these rocks start moving and the aliens come out with guns and start shooting at the thing,
Yeah, that would probably be the top of the news cycle to see.
Yeah. Even ahead of COVID, huh?
Yeah, really.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or there's an Andy Moore dealership up there.
Maybe Mark Mutzler's there too.
Or Skillman or Gorman or somebody.
Good one, Shar.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be funny if we found something really ridiculous. But Bud, we know you're on here, but we can't see you, and you're muted.
Maybe he wants to not be seen nor heard.
Yeah, yeah.
We finally got our wish.
Well, he's obviously not running for office.
Andy, you've got our invocation today, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I never know for sure what I'm going to say till I say it. So
there you go. That's
I
good.
figured if the Lord wants me to pray, he'll provide me with something.
That's right.
So I have a lot of faith in him.
Good.
What are you doing?
There he is.
Yeah.
Hey, bud. You're still muted. There you're not.
I'm sorry.
Say something.
I got
Purdue had
mine. How's this?
You're fine.
It doesn't feel mute. Are you
Did you
still
watch
there?
the game?
Get ready.
Jim, was that week okay with you on the Meals on Wheels?
What?
Me?
Jim?
Oh, the week? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I didn't put you in this time, Terry, or Gary. I figured that you guys.
Thank you.
Well, I think I kept Jerry off all last year too, because
Yeah, you did.
too much going on when you're got to get the meeting ready. Are you going south, Sharon, soon?
Brad would like to go in March. I don't know if we can get away or not.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys had your vaccines?
The first one. So we couldn't go until after mid-March when we get our second one anyway.
Hi,
Karen. Carolyn.
It's Carolyn.
Hi.
Hi.
Karen and Carolyn and Karen.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I've got my children here today too as special guests, but one of them's eating a cheese stick, and here's the other one. Alex.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
That's Alex. And then here, I'll show you my other special guest.
Okay. Oh, look at that. What a cutie.
Hi.
What mix is that?
This is a miniature golden doodle.
Our granddaughter has a mix of a labradoodle, but it's full grown. It's not miniature.
Yes, and he's 6 months old tomorrow, and they expected him to only be about 25 to 30 pounds, and he's already 25 pounds.
Wow.
So we got the hefty miniature. My neighbors actually breed Aussie Labradoodles.
How do you get a snickerdoodle?
I don't know.
Ask your wife to cook it or bake it.
Yeah, Mac, there you go.
Yeah.
We had a realtor that we dealt with in Illinois who just loved snickerdoodles, and Terry would always make him snickerdoodles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wonder how that got its name. That's being interesting.
Somebody must have been laughing when they were cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they were in the cooking wine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I guess we're right there. So let's go ahead and start the meeting. I'm going to mute everybody. Or no, we'll leave it open for saying the pledge. And we'll get this thing going here. Hi, Don.
Hello.
So
Where's the flag? Here it is.
there we go. Okay, I
Ready?
pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kiwanis is a global
Organization, volunteers dedicated to improving the world and child one community at a time through service to others.
Good, thank you. Okay, just checking to see if there's anybody else on here yet. Nothing. Okay, invocation, Andy.
You want to get that for the prayer?
Go ahead. Sorry.
God's calling.
Shall we bow our heads? Father, we thank you that we can still get together for this social time, and it's not exactly the way that we would choose to have it, but it is the way it is, and we're going to persevere and to know that Kiwanis is a organization that always is around and always is available to help the young people of the world. We'd like to thank you for last week and our 100th anniversary and how you've been behind us all these years and blessed this club. And please continue to bless it. And just know that we need those projects to help the children. We'd ask that you'd bless this country and bless this state and bless this city. And we come to you today and with humble hearts that we should go ahead and do the mission of the Kiwanis. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, appreciate that. Let's see, guests, we don't have any guests. Announcements, we've got, the COVID vaccine now, as we said before, 65 and over. So how many have got at least their first shot? We did.
Get my second one Saturday.
All right, good. And I know some have gotten their second shot, so that's great. Glad to hear. Let's see. Yesterday, we packed backpacks for Nourish. We had 5 people packing backpacks. We had Jerry, Mac, and Jim McCampbell, and Terry and I. We did 170 backpacks. So we had a lot of fun yesterday. It was had some new people in there, and it was a lot of fun. So we're glad to do that. To get everybody in here. Let's see, we got more people coming in. We will be packing again on March 15th. So put that in your calendar, and we will need people for that. It's at 4 p.m. for packing backpacks. So please come on in for that. Sign up. Let me know if you can't get into Portal Buzz. let me know that. We'll get you set up for packing backpacks. March 12th, the Friday before, we need 5 people for 9 a.m. To unload the truck. That's the heavier one. And hopefully they'll have the snow cleared out from behind there, and we can come in the back door. Makes it a little bit easier, especially with the milk. Right, Karen? And March 17th for the mobile food pantry. We need quite a few people for that. I'm pushing to get 9 more people. 10:30 a.m. So we do need some people to sign up for that. Let me know. It'll be a drive-through thing. We won't be having to do much, but we do need to sign in people and get the food into their cars. So let's sign up for that. Need indicators for our March meetings. So we've got March 4th, and who's volunteering for March 4th?
John Cully.
Okay. And March 11th? Who's volunteering for March 11th?
I thought I signed up for something in March. Did I not?
I think you signed up for February, but I'll check, Carolyn, just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay. Andy, you want the 11th?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. And the 18th? And 18th or 25th? Who do we have?
Put me down for the 18th.
Okay, Sharon. And the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's saying yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll find somebody for the 25th or appoint somebody. Jerry, you need speaker coordinators or speaker people yet?
Still looking for 5 speakers in April and 4 in July. At this point, like I said last week, I'm just asking for you all to volunteer to do 1, and we'll plug them in 1 at a time.
Okay. So let's work on that. If we can get some speakers to talk about, what we are doing in the community, or what they would like us to do in the community, or what they're doing in the community. Let's get that. Let's get that set up. We'd love to have those speakers telling us what we can do to help them. Again, and I say this every week, and I'm still looking for somebody. Sharon is retiring, so we need somebody to take her place as club treasurer. So, Jerry, is your hand up? You're going to do club treasurer now?
No.
Oh, hand went up. But we do need somebody for club treasurer. So, if you can't do it, find someone else, because we do need somebody starting in October. We actually want to do it earlier, so Sharon can train them a little bit, but we do need some help there. So we're still looking. Member updates. I did, Craig Burkhart's dad, Charlie, passed away. This week it was in the paper, and so I wanted to pass on our condolences there. Yeah. Anybody else have any member updates? I did not talk to Dave Polly, so anybody else have anything?
Yes.
Okay. Community involvement. We've got, of course, Pancake Week. I was hoping Caleb would be on here. We will be getting the tickets printed here shortly. I know Caleb's tied up quite a bit with tax season and everything now, and getting information out to his clients. But we will be putting together the tickets for Pancake Week. I was telling people earlier, we put out a blast email to about 200 businesses in the community to try to get money for to sponsor us at Pancake Week. So we're working on that, and we will continue working on that through March. So if you know of anybody that wants to help us out, you know, let us know. We can get them the information and get them to sponsor us. Happy Bucks. Who's happy?
Have a happy buck.
Okay. Sharon's happy. What you're happy for, Sharon?
I got my first shot, and that Valentine's Day is over.
Yeah, it's a busy time for you, right?
Yeah, like a whole week worth.
Wow, good. Good. Who else?
I'll throw in 5 for Riley, and was very happy when the plow guy showed up 7:30 Tuesday morning to plow my driveway out, because it would have taken me 2 days to shovel it out, and I'd probably had a heart attack in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So very grateful for that.
Yeah. Who else?
I'm happy, and because I got a text message from my brother who lives in Tokyo, and he's been leukemia, and he got bone marrow transplant from my sister 4 months ago, and both are doing well, and he's getting better and better. So I'm very happy. And tomorrow, it will be my daughter's 29th birthday. So I'm very happy today. Thank you.
Wow, congratulations. That's fantastic,
Thank you.
Koshi.
Thank
Glad
you.
to hear that. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
So she's 29. That means you had her when you were 10?
I've got
Chuck.
I've got 5 because somebody came and knocked on my door Tuesday afternoon and said he'd shovel my driveway, and he and his 2 kids went out there and worked hard and shoveled it all out, and I was very happy to have him come do that.
Wow. That's great. That's great. You know, it's great to have good neighbors. You know, we've got to say the same, and I think Terry and I'll throw in 10. We got up Tuesday morning. Of course, it had snowed all day Monday, and you know, most of the night Tuesday. Got up Tuesday morning to the sounds of my neighbor running his tractor with a plow on it and doing our driveway. So, and he actually did everybody's driveway on the road that we live on, and just fantastic. He loves playing in the thing, and we love having it shoveled out. So it was great. It was great. So yeah, that, and also for us, we got our first shots last Saturday, and that's helpful. And so we're looking forward to that, to the second shot.
Yeah.
Who else? Okay. Well, thank you all very much. Remember, that goes to Riley this quarter, and we're very, very happy to pass that on. This day in history. Let's see. 1787. The Holy Roman Emperor Joseph II bans children under 8 from labor. I think all the kids took it on and think that's up to 17 or 18, and they don't have to do any labor now, right? You know, 1885, Mark Twain published The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn in the United States. In 1901, and I think this is, I guess I could be sexist and say this is for all the women, but it's actually for all of us because we all have to do it. H. Cecil Booth patented a dust removing suction cleaner, first vacuum cleaner. So, and getting into space, 1930, U.S. astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto. I don't know if he was at Disney World or what, but he discovered Pluto. 1977, the space shuttle above a Boeing 747 goes on its maiden flight. 1979, NASA launches the space vehicle S-202. And in 2021, at 3:55 p.m., what happens, Jerry?
The rocket scientists at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, are going to observe and supervise their, they have a robot probe that is to land on Mars this afternoon. The entry phase starts at 3:48. It should be on the ground on Mars by 3:55. It will be covered on NASA TV, which is available on cable and satellite systems. There's a couple of websites that it'll be available as well, space.com and NASA's website, nasa.gov. I'm sure some of the news outlets, CNN and MSNBC and the like, will have it as well. But it's, you know, this thing's been traveling since July. It's traveled 300 million miles. And there are some really smart people at JPL who have designed this thing and built it and then supervised it all the way. And I think the average age of these folks is like 28. I mean, these are really, really young people and really, really bright. And the coverage of it will be, even if you're not into the space program, and obviously I am, but even if you're not, it's going to be really exciting. So if you're not doing anything at 10 minutes till 4 this afternoon, tune in. It should be worth watching for sure.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Now you said it's how many million miles to get there?
Well, it's traveled 300 million. I don't know what the actual distance between Mars and Earth is right now, but it takes, at the speed of light, it takes 7 minutes for the signal to reach back to Earth. So, you know, once it lands, we won't know if it was successful for 7 minutes. My understanding is that there are cameras on board this craft that they're actually going to try to live stream a signal back to Earth. And so we may actually get a chance to see 7 minutes delayed what the landing looked like.
Wow. So 300 million miles. And
fingers crossed. I'm sorry?
300 million miles and they didn't have to stop for one bathroom break, huh?
Well, that's the advantage of a robot.
Yeah, that's good. That's
hey,
good.
Jerry, give those where it can be seen again, those sites that you said could be seen.
All right. Comcast and Metronet both carry the NASA channel, I believe. You can find it in your program guide. I know DirecTV and Dish Network have it. NASA.gov, their website, and space.com.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you can put it on like an iPad and you can have a smart TV, you can transmit it over to your big screen.
Right.
Right.
Right. And just another thing on this day, 2001, 20 years ago, it's been the 43rd Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip won, but that's the race that Dale Earnhardt was killed at. 2001, it's been 20 years. Wow. So, national days. Today's Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. So everybody, yeah, see it.
That's good for your blood sugar,
right? And it's Pluto Day, of course, and it's Thumb Appreciation Day. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I really like my thumb. It's National Hate Florida Day.
That's awful.
Especially when you look out here and you hate those people down in Florida. And lastly, it's Drink Wine Day.
Oh boy.
I thought that was every day.
Yeah.
It is for some of us.
That's right.
That's the COVID relief day.
That's right. That's right. Birthdays. 1745, Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist and inventor of the first battery, was born in Como, Italy. The Energizer Bunny is still using that battery. 1920, Bill Cullen, TV game host, was born. 1925, George Kennedy was born. 1933, Yoko Ono was born in Tokyo. In 1950, Sybil Shepherd was born. In 1954, John Travolta was born. And in sometime on the 23rd of this month, we celebrate Gloria German's birthday. So happy birthday to Gloria. You know, we're still getting people coming in, so I apologize. I'm trying to watch that too. Any other birthdays or other special events this week? Yes, Seth.
My son's was on Tuesday and mine was yesterday.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Oh, wow. Congrats. See, Seth, once we get that application in, then we can put it through and you'll be listed on the calendar.
All right.
Okay, and speaking of Seth, and I'm gonna put everybody on mute now. Seth, you'll have to pull yourself off mute. And anybody that wants to talk afterwards, we'll have to pull ourselves off mute. But introduce Seth Nunan. Seth grew up in Crawfordsville, attended Claremont Graduate University, earning his PhD in philosophy of religion and theology. Prior to returning home to Crawfordsville, his first experience with individuals with ASD began in high school when he was privileged to act as a peer tutor to several classmates with varying learning needs. His family recently made the big decision to put down permanent roots in Crawfordsville, and as a Wabash College grad and Montgomery County native, he has a personal tie and emotional investment in the community. He has found that Kids Count offers him ample opportunity to turn his years of professional experience in higher education into a fulfilling career that directly affects the community in which he lives and allows him to play a role in the shaping and development of Kids Count's future. He and his wife enjoy running and regularly participate in local races sponsored by Montgomery County businesses. They've completed several half marathons and have one full marathon under their belts. They've also recruited their 8-year-old daughter as their next running partner. She beaten you yet?
No, and since I wrote that, she's 10 now, and her goal this year is to earn all of the medals that we've saved up for her.
Cool. Well, you need to update that.
I do.
Well, very good. So I want to introduce Seth, and Seth does enjoy reading and engaging in philosophical thought and discussion within the realm of religion and theology, and also loves crocheting. So really interesting. So Seth, it's open to you.
Awesome. Hey, Gary, is it possible to get host privileges to share my screen?
Did that work?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Let's see. Okay. I haven't had to share it before, so I gotta make sure I give all my privileges here.
I hope we didn't lose Seth. And I think we may have. You pressed the wrong button. So when he comes back in, everybody just razz him. Everybody give him the, the fingers and, Okay, he's coming back in. Seth, we caught you.
Yeah, I guess it kicked me out there for a second.
Wrong button.
Well, it asked me to, so I could try to share this PowerPoint. I've got some images. I mean, if I'm not able to pull those up, that's going to be a bummer.
We'll try it again and see. You should just be, when you hit the share screen button at the bottom, it should open up all your other screens that you have and just click on the one you want to share.
Yeah, it's not. There we go. I think I found it. But now it's asking me to open my preferences again, and that's not what I wanted to do.
No.
Because I just want to share this PowerPoint that I put together that's got some pictures of some of our updates that are.
Well, I'm going to make you the host completely here. So let's see if that does anything different.
Okay. Well. It has not given me that option. Well, that's all right. I can actually just talk through what I need to.
Do you want to email it to me real quick and you start talking and I'll try to get it up on mine?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
You need to make me a co-host now though, because you're completely the host.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Yeah, I can do that. There we go. And give me just a second and I will shoot that right over to you.
Okay.
Hey, Gary, you usually send stuff to my Gmail account. What's your email so I can send it to you from my kids' account?
Just Gary@GaryBailing.com.
Okay.
Do you want me to call him?
All right. All right, it's loading the file into the email. Sorry about the delay, everybody.
No problem. You can go ahead and start talking, and then once I get it, I'll load it up there for us.
All right, cool. Well, so Frank Kinez, one of the founders of Kids Count Therapy, and I came and spoke when everyone was still meeting at the library. It's almost 2 years ago now. So I'll just kind of give a brief introduction of what Kids Count Therapy is, just as a reminder. And then some of the updates I have are actually really exciting just because some of that stuff has grown exponentially since last time we spoke. Kids Count Therapy is a pediatric autism therapy clinic that started in Brownsburg and has since grown to Montgomery County. And I'll talk in a little bit about a third clinic that we're going to be opening up hopefully this coming fall. We serve kids anywhere between the age of about 18 months all the way up to, I think our oldest kid right now is somewhere between 15 and 16 years old. We do a type of therapy called ABA therapy, which stands for Applied Behavior Analysis. At its very basic, what that means is the kids we serve, for whatever reasons, have barriers to learning that don't allow them to succeed in like public school or in regular daycares or sometimes even at home. So what we do is look at what behaviors are occurring that aren't allowing them to be as successful. And once we figure out what those behaviors are, why they're happening, we put together a program of behavior intervention that helps those kids figure out, replacement behaviors or alternative behaviors that are going to make them more successful transitioning either to school or, as they age out. We'll talk in a little bit about what some of those options are after like graduating high school or after aging out of the Kids Count program. So one of our bigger things right now at Kids Count is figuring out how we can successfully grow while still providing the best therapy services to the kids that we're already serving. Kids Count Therapy started in Brownsburg about 6.5 years ago. We have been in Crawfordsville for about 4.5 years, a little over 4.5 years. Have leased several different spaces within the community until deciding to build our own building up here in the Commerce Park next to Ivy Tech. We've been in our new building in Crawfordsville since April 29th of almost 2 years ago. So that's been pretty exciting and allowed us to expand and serve more kids in the Montgomery County area. And we do still have a few kids that come from outside of Montgomery County, but the majority of our children here in Crawfordsville do come from Montgomery County. Gary, I sent that PowerPoint through. I don't know if you've been able to grab it yet.
Yeah, I'm just getting it right now. It's loading up, and once I can open it up and share it. Did you make me host again or co-host?
Yeah, you should be.
Okay.
Or here, I can.
Okay. Once I get that up, I'll let you know.
So one of the cool things that's happened for us here in Crawfordsville is the ability to take our clinic over the past couple of years from serving about 15 to 20 kids to now serving between 36 and 40 full-time kids here at Kids Count Therapy. There is also another ABA clinic in Crawfordsville. I'm not sure any of their statistics or demographic of their population of their clientele, but just know that there is a pretty strong need for providing services to kids on the autism spectrum in our own community, enough so that we can sustain 2 different autism therapy clinics. So that being said, with our surrounding counties, we are expanding in Brownsburg, have built 2 new buildings across the street from our current campus in Brownsburg to move our administrative staff and our outpatient staff, so our speech therapists, our occupational therapists, and our physical therapists, out of the space they're currently in into a brand new space in order to provide more ABA therapy space so we can continue to serve, kids that are on our wait list. One of the slides that hopefully we'll be able to see is just a couple of pictures of our new buildings. Our administrative staff moved into their new building a couple weeks ago, and the outpatient building should be completed sometime late March or early April.
Okay.
Awesome. There we go. So
which slide you want me to go to?
Let's just go ahead and go to the second one.
Okay.
Now I'll show an aerial view of our campus in Brownsburg. I don't know, we're right on 136, just east of downtown Brownsburg. So if anyone's driven through there, you might have seen our buildings from the road. And in this picture, actually in that top left-hand corner, that kind of empty space is where both of our 2 new buildings actually sit now. That the building with the big parking lot there in the middle on the left is used to be an old church, and we went in and completely renovated that building to provide therapy and office space for our teams over there. As you can see on the slide, currently as a company as a whole, we are serving over 100 part-time and full-time clients. Now, our part-time clients, those are typically kids that split time between Kids Count Therapy and then probably are going to either public or charter schools within their communities. So they'll spend part of their day at school and part of their day with us. Soon that's going to be up to 130 to 140 clients that we're able to serve in that capacity, because we are adding a new location in Boone County, like I said, hopefully completed this fall. So our outpatient services, as a company, we primarily serve kids on the autism spectrum through ABA therapy. But in addition to that, we do offer outpatient speech, occupational, and physical therapy for clients that don't require an autism diagnosis. So we even have done some feeding therapy for infants and babies who are struggling to figure out whether it's breastfeeding or bottle feeding. If they're struggling to learn how to do those things, sometimes it's a mouth issue, and so we have some SLPs who specialize in teaching some of those feeding therapies. So right now we're serving over 400 families just in those outpatient services. So that's in addition to any of our ABA kiddos who are full-time with us in the clinic. And in Indianapolis area, we do partner with 35, I think that number is growing a little bit. So a little bit over 35 charter and private schools. We're working to build partnerships with the public school systems, but for various reasons, they're just reasons they don't necessarily like having ABA therapists come into the school systems, but we do still try to consult and work with the schools as much as they want us to. As recently as last fall, we've also hired a couple new staff members, some licensed marriage and family therapists, some licensed mental health counselors, as well as a couple psychologists who are running our mental health services. So those services are obviously available to any of our ABA families if the children qualify for mental health services, or if the families themselves are looking for that additional support in whatever capacity they need as far as those mental health services for our clients. Gary, if we want to go to the next slide. So here are two new buildings. They're in Brownsburg. They're actually right behind Panuni's, the pizza restaurant, if any of you have ever frequented that establishment. So the one on the left, the administrative building, is in operation now, and then the outpatient building will be completed shortly. Something additionally great about these buildings is that it will provide us a space for any of our new therapists coming in that we can do our training. Any of our crisis management and critical moment training, we'll have a space for that. There is a giant part of our certification process as a new ABA therapist that requires watching some videos introducing people to what ABA therapy is. And we'll have a nice new conference room with computers set up in a training center for our team members to be able to utilize that space rather than having to do all of their work from home. So that's very exciting for us, as well as some of that training for our Building Essential Skills Together team, which I'll talk and a little bit more in detail about towards the end, because that's a giant piece that is growing out of what Kids Count Therapy is trying to do in the communities, but reaching a broader population once we get to there. So Gary, if you want to go ahead and go to the next one. So several of you who are with us today may have had an opportunity to tour our Crawfordsville location. I know sitting on different community boards and committees, back when we first opened, we invited several groups through just to show, that we exist and what our facility is about. So the picture on the left is just the front of our building up here on Phil Ward Boulevard. And then the picture on the right is just one picture of our gymnasium. So it's got our sensory swings, our ball pit. You can't really tell that there are thousands of balls in that over there on the left-hand side, but definitely a lot of fun and reinforcing for our clients who enjoy going in the gym. But yeah, so right now in Crawfordsville, we do reach out and support the local school corporations as much as possible. We do work very closely with West Central, the special services co-op here in the county. Newly elected Judge Petrie's wife, Emily, works with them. So I'm very familiar with them and working with her to an extent, but also, their director, Amy Selby, and their autism specialist at West Central helps us provide any support that we can for the local schools who have, kids on the spectrum who are doing arguably well in public school, but just need that little bit of extra support from someone with a little more specific experience. We do serve 36 full-time or half-time kids here at our clinic in Crawfordsville. Our 50 plus outpatient families grows daily. Anyone who's reaching out for those speech, OT, or PT needs, we actually ended up hiring someone specifically to do scheduling and administrative work around our outpatient program just because it's grown so quickly. And I'm happy to announce that within the past 3 weeks, we have started being able to offer mental health services for our clients and their families here in Crawfordsville as well. So all of these services, if you're, if you have family members or friends who, are dealing with either behavioral issues with their kids, or that they're looking for an outpatient speech, OT, or PT service, this isn't something that, at least in my memory of growing up in Montgomery County, was available outside of maybe the hospital itself. But just wanting to let people know that we are an additional location and service for some of those, typically specializing in children, but I know we do have a couple adults actually who come to Kids Count for speech services as well. So I know having limited resources, sometimes those appointments can get bottled up and they can be set way too far out from what people are hoping for. So just trying to get the word out there that we do exist. We are just north of town, and that we would love to be able to serve the community of Montgomery County as best as we can with the therapists and opportunities that we have here. Gary, I think we can go to the next one. All right, so this is super exciting. This was quite a secret around the Kids Count therapy halls for quite some time, and then a pleasant bomb was dropped on us a little while ago when one of our founders just announced to us that we're opening a new clinic in Whitestown. So kind of more like what they did with the facilities in Brownsburg, that were all kind of renovated or walked into some buildings that already existed and turned them into usable therapy space, as opposed to building a brand new building like in Crawfordsville. Our Kids Count Therapy Whitestown location is another old church building that is no longer a church, but will be completely renovated to provide ABA therapy space and outpatient speech, OT, and PT space for people in Boone County. So we're excited to be able to kind of triangulate that Montgomery County, Hendricks County, Boone County area, allowing some of our therapists to not have to travel as far to work, and also, reaching some of those families that are looking for ABA services that maybe can't travel as far as Brownsburg or Crawfordsville from where they currently live. We're excited to be able to increase that availability of ABA services. I know up in Tippecanoe County, there are several ABA centers as well, most of them much larger than Kids Count Therapy. But just being able to expand those resources is very important to us, and making those positive impacts on the communities. This open concept therapy space is something a little bit new compared to our other spaces. Once the COVID crisis calms down a little bit, we are going to be excited to invite people back into our therapy space to see, give tours to the community leaders and people to see, how it is that we do what we do in the space we have. Being a church, those sanctuaries are giant open spaces. So the idea behind renovating the church building in Whitestown is to not only provide that as a centralized gymnasium for reinforcement, but also use the outer areas of that open space for like individual cubbies or cubicles for our kids to sit down and be able to work with their friends and peers around them. And as it says, we're projected to open that in the fall, assuming, all things go well moving forward with those renovations. So I want to talk a little bit today about building essential skills together, and just kind of introduce this as this new nonprofit. As over the past couple of years, my responsibilities at Kids Count have gone from I know very little about what autism is and know nothing about ABA therapy, becoming a full-time ABA therapist myself, moving a little bit into coordinator's position where I was helping run daily operations of the clinic, and even more recently, taking on a bit more of a role in pushing the next steps forward. So our founders, Frank and Lindsay Kinez, Frank is a fellow 2007 Wabash graduate. They've been working with kids on the spectrum for about 10 years now. So some of those kids that they worked with 10 years ago are not kids anymore. And so they started asking themselves and other people around, once these kids age out of the program or they graduate from high school, what options are available and what opportunities are available for kids with autism spectrum disorder? And unfortunately, at least in our area, the answer is not much. There are very few or limited resources. So they took that information and decided, they're going to open up a nonprofit organization to start providing meaningful and purposeful employment opportunities to adults of all abilities. Now, obviously, we kind of sit in a niche with autism spectrum disorder just based on the connection to Kids Count therapy, but we're not limited to that as far as limited to serving young adults and teens with autism spectrum disorder. So what that means for the nonprofit that has grown out of this desire to serve the communities is that we currently are offering, actually within the last week, these 3 icons have changed down to 2 with the addition of some other options. So Building Essential Skills Together owns a food truck that we are now currently legal to operate in Montgomery County. And the people that run that food truck are my team at Building Essential Skills Together. So Josh is a 20-year-old guy that is an employee of Building Essential Skills Together. And last practice round we ran with the food truck, Josh cooked every single hamburger that left that truck completely independently, which is a giant step up from where he might have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago when Frank and Lindsay first met him. More Than Mops is a cleaning and general maintenance service that our guys are hired out to go to local businesses and offices to do any sort of deep cleaning and maintenance service that they need. Most recently, I've been in contact with the Masonic Cornerstone, who's looking to contract out a group to come in and do event setup for when they're able to invite the community back in to run their events. So it's a nice nonprofit partnership that we're trying to develop with them so that my team from Building Essential Skills Together can continue to develop these vocational and job skills while giving back to other local businesses and individuals. Something that has grown out of that is the need to find out how we can serve through this nonprofit, not just supported employment for young adults, but also offering volunteer experiences for teens who may be looking, or their parents are looking for something purposeful for them to do throughout the day. Once they graduate from our program, rather than just being at home and figuring out other ways to be idle or potentially get in trouble, we want to be able to offer those experiences where they can come volunteer for the food truck. They could volunteer with More Than Mops. Or thirdly, if they're not looking for necessarily employment for an adult with a disability or looking for volunteer opportunities, we are developing a life skills training program. So my guy, Josh, he's 20 years old. He is very much interested in developing his independence. He wants to learn how to pay rent, how to pay his car insurance. He's almost licensed to drive in the state of Indiana. We got maybe a month left. And he wants to learn how to, do other, various independent things when it comes to managing and budgeting his money. So we're developing a program to start for him daily, and then anyone else that comes into the program who can jump right into those training programs to start figuring out how to do some of that more teen and young adult independent living type skill. So right now, we just received our nonprofit status back in September, and we're kind of in the process right now of figuring out what fundraising looks like, what operations of our food truck and the cleaning service look like, and how we can not only best support our team of, Josh as our full-time employee, and then we have a couple of others who are currently volunteering with us, who can, come not only learn the executive decision-making skills of grilling burgers in a food truck, but also interacting with our customers and interacting with each other as team members. It's not typically a secret that building social skills is something that doesn't come easy to a lot of kids on the autism spectrum. So not only are we providing this opportunity for employment and learning new skills that way, but there are all of those transferable skills that we're wanting to build as well, in the hopes that if someday our team members want to leave building essential skills together and go find a job somewhere else, our utmost hope and goal is that we have done what we were supposed to do to prepare them to have those skills to go somewhere else. Within our life skills training, we're going to be going through teaching interview skills and what that means, so that, again, if they want to leave and go pick up a job somewhere else, then that's what we're going to hope to prepare them to do. On the next slide, Gary, you're going to see our food truck, and a couple guys running it to one of our practice rounds, actually out here. The one on the left was our first go. It was a little smoky there in Brownsburg. And then there on the right, you've got Josh and myself in the food truck figuring out, how to get that food out and served to the customers. Josh prepping the food, and then I was running the fryer that day. It's kind of hot and dangerous, so Josh has yet to give the deep fryer a go yet, but that's the next on our list. So that is just kind of an update of where we are as far as Kids Count Therapy. We're continuing to grow, serve more communities, doing and offering the same quality services and therapy experiences that we can to our kids, families, and the community, with that addition of trying to serve those kids that, once they're done with Kids Count Therapy or headed that way, how can we continue to serve them? And so building essential skills together is our answer, or at least hopefully our answer to that question. So I would love to be able to answer any questions, whether they're Kids Count Therapy related, building essential skills together related, anything that's related to either our therapy services or our nonprofit. I am thrilled to talk all day long about both of them.
Remember, everyone's on mute, so if you want to ask a question, just either press the space bar or just take yourself off mute. Seth, as I understand it, Kids Count is not a nonprofit.
Correct.
However, B E S T is a nonprofit.
Yes. So B E S T is a nonprofit mission that basically grew out of what Kids Count's trying to do for children, but continue that as those kids age out. Kids Count Therapy is not a nonprofit. We're funded through insurance because as a medical therapy, as ABA is, and obviously our speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy, mental health services, we bill insurance companies to provide those services.
And it's a 501c3?
Building essential skills together is, yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Seth, how much of your, Andy Biddle here, how much of your program is funded through any kind of government grants or anything like that?
Currently, zero. That has become my new mission as the manager of Building Essential Skills Together. to start researching grant funding, applying, writing those grants. I'm working, I just got introduced just last week to the new director at Montgomery County United Funds. So Gina, hopefully, she and I will be meeting to see, what supports they can offer for us moving forward. I know we sit in a very unique position with what we're trying to do, but I also know there are other organizations who provide comparable services, but they're not quite the same as what we're trying to do.
Just a side comment, the mayor and the city council recognize the importance of this program out north, and we granted tax abatement to your organization for a few years to get your feet on the ground, but it's a real, it's just a really great program. We were excited to help out with, as far as the city, because it's a needed program that it just wasn't available. And it's, we're really glad to see that happening here in the city.
Well, in Kids Count Therapy, I would say next to none of our, I mean, I'm sure there are some areas we're getting funding outside of just our insurance billing. But I don't think much of our therapy program with Kids Count Therapy is supported by grant funding much at all.
Well, what I'm talking about is we abated the property tax to give you guys a leg up to get started.
Yeah, and that has been, I know Frank, I've heard him actually even mention that, has been so incredibly helpful to be able, for us to be able to expand. We sat leasing the other half of Workforce Plus's building for a couple of years, but we were just busting at the seams and had a wait list of 15 to 20 kids. And opportunities like that have not gone unnoticed or unappreciated because it allowed us to serve all of those kids who we were having to ask to wait before we were able to get into a bigger space.
Seth, do you see B E S T operating solely in Montgomery County or going over into the other counties too that you currently serve with Kids Count Therapy?
Great question. Right now, Montgomery County has just been the most agreeable. So they've been the fastest. And that's just with the food truck. Because we have other services, no, we will definitely be operating in Hendricks County as well to support those kids coming out of our Brownsburg clinic. And Boone County is next on my list to reach out to. Obviously, with the development of that Whitestown clinic with Kids Count Therapy, yeah, B E S T will also very much be interested in operating in counties outside of Montgomery County. Right now, so one of my full-time guy, Josh, and one of our volunteers, Rowan, they come out with me to Crawfordsville at least once a week, familiarizing themselves with this community and this Kids Count Therapy clinic so that we can start to do a better job of reaching out and letting people know that we're here and that we exist. But that when they're not here in Crawfordsville, they are at the clinic in Brownsburg, partnering with Kids Count Therapy currently, and we're still looking to expand those services as well.
At what age do these students or whatever go from Kids Count Therapy and into B E S T?
Sure. If they're interested, if a family would like that employment opportunity for their child or their teen or young adult, it would really depend on eligibility for employment. But that's why we're expanding those programs from this, not just supported employment, but also the volunteer opportunities and the life skills training. Because the volunteer opportunities and life skills training programs, there's not really an age limit on those. The only reason there is any sort of regulation on the supported employment would really just be based on someone's eligibility for employment. When it comes to working with people with varying abilities and disabilities, waiver services are something we have to be careful with, because some of our people who may be really interested in our programs, their waiver services or waiver service applications don't allow them to work in an employment capacity. So that's where right now we're having, conversations with attorneys and, other people empowered to let us know what we're able to do volunteer wise in order to stay compliant with waiver services and labor laws, obviously.
Seth, this is Carolyn Searing. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Again. Good. I was just curious, do the children that attend this, are they obligated to pay anything to come, or how does that work?
Are you referring to Kids Count Therapy or to?
Yes.
We only bill insurance, so they don't pay anything to come to Kids Count Therapy other than what their insurance companies pay. Now, there probably are clients that we have at Kids Count Therapy who, for whatever reason, insurance maybe doesn't cover it or whatnot. We do have private pay options, but those are very rare.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Tell Elizabeth I said hi.
I will.
Anybody else? Okay, I think it's wow, what an opportunity here, I think, for these kids and to give them a chance to move into life really down the road, and I think that's fantastic. I really think it could be advantageous not only for those kids but for the community itself.
Well, our supported employment opportunities right now sit at cleaning and maintenance and the food truck, but we aren't set on limiting ourselves to that. One of the really important things we're trying to do is talk to our volunteers and to our staff and ask them, what is it that you want to do? Josh just happens to love cooking and he loves food. He's 6'7" and he's a big dude. So food just, I guess, came naturally to him, and he loves being in the truck. But as we grow and develop, we want to be able to expand those employment opportunities to really touch what's important to these young people. Having whatever abilities look like as they're coming to us, we want to make sure that we're tailoring their employment experience to be meaningful and important to them. It's not just a box to be checked, but we have a very strong mission to make it worth it for them to get and gain this experience.
Good. Anybody else? Okay. Seth, thank you so much. And I do appreciate it. And when you need me to pick up that application or if you want to mail it back to me, whatever, we've got it.
All right. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to go ask Becca if it came.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Our next meeting will be February 25th, and our speaker will be Lisa Coons. And I know Dennis is on here. Dennis, you want to tell us anything about what Lisa's going to talk about? Dennis? Maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yeah. Well, I'm down in the middle of Alabama. We finally got through the snow.
Good.
And the grass is actually greening up down here. But Lisa is, of course, my daughter-in-law, and my son and her spent the last 5 years trying to adopt a little girl from Bulgaria. And everything was supposed to go through when COVID hit, and it got delayed, and just the frustration of some of the things at the end there that they had to go through to finally pick up the little girl that we now have in our family. And she is doing wonderful. She's probably already grown 3 inches and learning sign language and saying a few words, but still some language barrier there at this point. So it'd be interesting just to see the tale that it was for her to get through all this.
Sure. Good, Dennis. Thank you. Appreciate that.
thanks to Seth too for speaking today. It sounded, what I heard, very interesting.
Well, and Dennis, I can tell you that we do not have an SLP at Kids Count Therapy who is bilingual in Bulgarian and English. But if they're looking for any tips or help in developing that language, give them my information, because I would be more than happy to, you know, hook them up with an SLP who might have some suggestions.
Okay, I'll pass that on. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks. Okay, quote of the day. Anybody who succeeds is helping people. The secret to success is find a need and fill it. Find a hurt and heal it. Find a problem and solve it. Robert H. Schuller. Thank you all very, very much, and we'll see you all next week. Don't forget about signing up for all of these volunteer opportunities. We especially need the people for the March 17th event with the food truck, delivering food to everybody, the drive up food truck. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
So long, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.